Hey guys, I'm here with Queen Tiger, and we're going to talk about mistyping because both of us have mistyped at some point. Hey guys, I'm here that was such a noob. That was so bad. I literally always do that, and I've been doing this for so long. Okay,
I thought that was
go ahead.
There.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So I've got it on my phone now, so that's working. So yeah, just ask any questions about mistyping, whatever. And I don't want this to turn into another discussion about my type, so.
Yeah, I think I think people will hopefully people will put forth questions.
Yeah.
But would you I think in order to do this conversation properly, we probably should preface it with a little bit of background information of, the types we mistyped as and, all of that stuff. So.
Yeah, literally everything.
Okay, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I've literally mistyped as probably all of the extroverts apart from ESFJ and ENFp. And then I typed as ISTP for a while.
Wow. And what would you say, why do you think that is? Do you think it's just because you're young?
I mean, it could be, but then I think maybe, it's just that throwing ideas at a wall, see what sticks. I think that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah. I think it's definitely interesting, especially when you get into typology, and I think this is why a lot of people discredit it, is because they're just like, well, you can kind of relate to any type, and I think that's definitely true with Myers-Briggs for sure. I can definitely see. What was that?
Especially if you want to use the letters, then.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, because a lot of websites, they don't have the cognitive functions shown, and it's all about, oh, are you an I or an E, and S or an N, and stuff like that. As you guys probably know by now, I mistyped as an ENFJ. That's the only other type that I've typed as. I have typed as other types, like taking the test, but again, that doesn't really mean anything. The tests are very flawed.
Yeah.
But I actually thought I was an ENFJ for a few years, but that was before I really did serious study into the cognitive functions. But yeah, if at any point, if you guys have any questions directed towards either of us, let us know in the chat. Yeah. And also, hey, Lindsay, also kind of, we can talk through maybe different things about mistyping and stuff. So, okay, do you want to say something, or?
Well, I was just going to say, I think a lot of it stems from misinformation as well about functions. I know SI in particular is, described a lot as boring, when it's boring real followers, but I don't really think that's, everything about SI at all.
Yeah, I agree. Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, there's a lot of stereotypes, which really, I don't blame Myers-Briggs for putting forth the stereotypes, the notorious 16personalities.com that we love to talk about. They know what they're doing. It has really, really good graphics. Also, there's, certain YouTubers that I won't call out that have certain systems that are a bit weird, that use certain materials that can be a little bit misleading as well. So it is, I think we actually got a question from Andrew Rice. He says, seriously though, what's the best way to type for accuracy? I heard someone's shadow and how they act when they get stressed is a really good indicator. And are hybrids possible at all? I mean that there are 7 billion people in this world.
Yeah.
Hey, Siham.
I think with the first question, I don't think there is like one way to type for accuracy. Like I don't think that there's ever going. Well, I mean, depends how long. Like after a while, it might be, but right now, there's not like one method to 100% accurately type someone.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think I do applaud, even though certain systems may not be the best, or like maybe misleading, I do applaud those people that are trying to be more, I guess, objective in their I mean, there definitely are systems that are better than others, and actually I have found that, like, for example, Dave's Superpowers, even though he has a different method, that I wouldn't consider necessarily even Myers-Briggs anymore. And this isn't me like, trying to say that, oh, he doesn't talk about Myers-Briggs.
Yeah.
He just has a completely different method. And I think in a lot of ways, it's been really helpful for people. But then there's people out there, again, I'm not going to name names, even though I'm a bit salty, because certain people declined my interview with them.
Well, I mean, that's funny because I remember I did name names one time, and people on Reddit weren't too happy about that.
Really?
Yeah, that was pretty funny though.
Well,
but speaking of that, right? So obviously I mentioned C.S. Joseph last time, but I think no, but after thinking about it, really, I think I do kind of like what he's trying to do. I just don't think what he's trying to do with his type grid is fully achievable at this point.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna try to be, have a composed nature with all of this. But yeah, I think, in some ways, do I agree with his typings? No, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with a lot of his typings because I think he just, well, I'm not going to go into that, but that's beside the point. I think, it's very hard, and like Tiger was saying, it's very difficult to just find one system, but we do applaud those people that are trying to go towards that.
Yeah, I do like the idea of there being like a method to be able to do it, but I don't think that's possible at this. Well, I think it is, but I just don't think it's going to be figured out for a while.
Yeah, and I do know people at this very moment that are trying to come up with systems to more accurately type people.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I don't think he's gonna mind me mentioning, but Andrew or Squareheart, who I've had on here, he's coming up with different ways of using like science to figure out things, or even statistics, but not statistics in the same way that, like, let's say Myers-Briggs uses it. But again, that's more socionics, and a lot of people don't like to blend Myers-Briggs and socionics, which I definitely can see that. Even though I personally believe if you're trying to type accurately, even though it's very difficult to do this because there's just so much to socionics, I would actually say that if you type correctly in socionics, then you have a higher chance of typing correctly in Myers-Briggs. Just because there's a lot more like data, studies, just a lot more research, I personally believe, because unlike Myers-Briggs, that was built for, let's say, the schooling, or just even career, like being a good leader in your career field. Socionics was built for the type relations and to understand your personality and other personalities and how they interact more. And so it was way more
I do like
built on
Socionics.
cognitive functions. Yeah. So.
But yeah, one thing I'd say as well is like try and like, because I sent you that document of like explaining each function. I did it as a video as well. But I think if you can't, like, try and do that for the type you think you are, and if you can do it easily, then there's a higher chance you're going to be that type. Like, try and write out a document explaining like why you are that type, and if you can't, then you're probably not.
Yeah. No, I mean, really, more than anything, whether you get into socionics or whatever, like, you definitely don't need to dive into it right now. But like, I mean, not you, Tiger.
Yeah.
You've already dived in there. But like for other people that haven't taken the leap yet, what you just said about just even looking at the cognitive functions is, and just being, I personally think the best way to approach typing yourself as accurately as possible. And I have had people, so for example, tomorrow we're going to have Jake Maxwell on. And we have talked, privately about this, him and I, but
yeah,
we're not entirely sure what his type is, or he's not entirely sure and stuff like that. And we were kind of able to determine that he's probably on the NISE axis, but he's not, well, he has a type in mind, but he's not 100% sure. And so he wants to get more feedback about that. Now, personally, I find it very difficult to say to someone, you are 100% this type, because I'm not in that person's head. I may, for example, there are certain YouTubers out there, and I won't name names, but there's certain YouTubers that I'm not saying that they're completely off, but sometimes I'm like, don't know if you completely typed yourself correctly. And this isn't me to judge, because at the end of the day, I'm not inside their head. So I personally think, okay, sorry, my phone is going off.
But yeah, I think just while I can see it, someone's talked about Enneagram, and I actually think if I was like a 7-wing 6, then it would have been much easier for me to figure out that it was an ENTP.
Yeah.
Certain people who have about 10k followers and whiteboards full of Jack. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we should address the comments so far, because there seems to be quite a discussion going on. And if you want to, you can always address them if you want. We can both look at them.
So yeah, people are talking about mistyping, where you're naturally introverted but you're actually extroverted. So I think that we're, especially in personality typing, that introversion and extroversion are defined are very different from being socially introverted or extroverted.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh my gosh, Michelle! Michelle is totally being a little sassy girl in the chat, it looks like. I think we all know who I'm talking about, but no, I'm not going to
agree with Michelle.
The name has been dropped already, but not by myself. Actually,
I
guess I have said it, but I have indirectly said it. But guess what? If you're watching this, and he literally emailed me today. I asked him for an interview, and he was leaving me. I'm just going to spill the tea, guys. This is probably unprofessional, but am I professional? Not very.
Spill it.
Spilling the tea, guys. I mean, don't go over to his channel and harass him, obviously. But I did contact a certain individual that we've already named. Not Dave Superpowers. I haven't actually ever talked to Dave Superpowers, and he seems super nice, all that stuff. But I did contact another individual via email, and asked if they would do an interview. And then I contacted the same individual on Instagram a few days later because they didn't answer, and I just didn't know if they got it. And that's fine. You know, if you don't want to do an interview, don't say you don't want to do an interview. But this individual did not respond. Instead, they just left me on scene on Instagram. Like, they actually opened the message and saw it. And then I messaged them again. I was like, all right, like, you don't have to, like, it's okay if you, and then I literally said, yo, just say yes or no. I literally said, yo.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, so this person, instead of responding to me on Instagram, which I guess they're trying to be more professional, which is fine and, you know, great for them. They emailed me and they said, hi, Emily. Thank you for this opportunity, but I declined. And so I just said, you know, I understand, basically, thanks for responding, but yes. So for those people that have requested this individual has declined my interview, so I'm sorry about it, but oh well.
So since people are talking about C.S. Joseph, I think, right, what annoys me most about C.S. Joseph isn't him, it's his fans that just constantly, like, just blindly defend him.
Yeah.
But I think
that's
just obviously going to come with someone having a following anyway, that people are going to just blindly defend them.
Yeah. I guess that's true. I don't know him, you know. I don't know him. I watched the first time I watched one of his videos was like a few days ago.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't like even think when I made that video. I think I watched like part of a video, but when I made my Emil video, I didn't even watch his stuff. So
yeah.
It wasn't until recently, because people have requested, that I even have watched any of his videos, and, you know, again, whatever. But
Yeah.
All right, back into the discussion.
Actually, I think like, this actually fits in with what one point I wanted to make, because I think a lot of people that are new into it kind of put too much trust into one person. Like obviously a couple of different, like, YouTubers with their own systems, they put too much trust in that one person and that one system. I think that's a reason why some people mistype.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is a good point. This kind of ties into it, like you were saying, is like, okay, even though I'm a little bit salty about that, which,
Yeah.
you know, hey Chase, if you're watching this, you know, love you, bud, you're great. I'm just kidding. I literally had to look up his name because I didn't know what his name was, which is also mean. But yeah. Anyways, as far as like mistyping goes, you really do not want to use one source. And this goes for anything. This goes for if you're writing a research paper for school, you don't go and link one source of information. You link as many sources of information as possible. So if I say that I personally think someone's a type, especially like a celebrity or something, or even like you, don't just go for me. Like, don't go from what I just said, because I very well could be wrong. Because again, I'm not in that individual's brain. And even when you're in that individual's brain, like yourself, or like, I guess, an alien that's implanted themselves in your brain, just kidding. It's gonna still be hard. Like, there's a reason why people self-type and they mistype still. But yeah.
And I think especially, like, I think this is probably more of an extrovert thing than an introvert thing, but I think what happens with people with like elite extroverted function, they'll just start asking everyone they talk to, oh, what type do you think I am? What type do you think I am? But obviously, I think, especially on, like, in real life, like, it's probably different, but online, like, not many people are going to know you better than you know yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's always good. I'm actually reading the chat a little bit right now.
Oh,
And LJ
actually,
just said, I agree with the cross-checking with different sources. I typed the same with MBTI, Dave's superpowers, Eric Thor's, just icing on the cake.
Yeah, so actually it's interesting that someone brings up Eric Thor because he actually did type me as an ENTP.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm on his Discord server, but I'm not that active on it, so defense mechanisms, yeah.
Which, by the way, as far as Eric Thor goes, Eric Thor has agreed to do an interview, and we will be doing an interview probably in the next week or so.
Oh well, I'll definitely have to watch that because yeah, I think with celebrities as well, you have to kind of, you're not really typing them, you're typing their public image.
Yeah, I think you really would have to, I mean, maybe certain celebrities, they're a little bit more authentic than others, but for a lot of celebrities, they definitely have a front that they're doing, which makes sense. They have a facade. It's just like YouTubers. Like there's certain YouTubers I've met, certain YouTubers in real life, and what they present themselves online isn't always what they are, in person. So
and yeah, so actually Michelle's just brought up something that really I totally agree with, and when other people just use this as an argument, it really bugs me. But she's obviously put, yes, I do. I mean, two people of the same type aren't going to be the same person, but the similarities are very clear. So yeah, that's the thing. Because I think I've seen it a lot where people go, oh well, they're not exactly the same as me, so they can't be the same type as me.
Yeah.
And I think to some extent you'll be able to relate to people of your type, but then I think obviously you've got Enneagram plays a factor in that, and then just upbringing, gender. There's lots of other factors apart from personality type that you need to take into consideration.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think, Enneagram kind of gives a different flavor to the different types. And I also agree with Michelle. Like, for example, in a lot of weird ways, Michelle reminds me of my friend Anna, which feels very familiar to me because they're both ENFPs, and I love both of them. Obviously, I wouldn't have either of them around if that was the case. But also, which is weird because I just started talking to Lindsay /LJ, but she reminds me of a girl that I used to be really good friends with, but that was kind of a different situation. It's so weird. I actually noticed with INTJs, and I'm not saying, okay, this is another thing that you definitely don't need to do, but I'm going to say it right now because I think it's very interesting. I definitely think there's a certain, obviously not I can't think of it right now what it's called, but the way someone looks physically, you don't want to get into that it's definitely not as far as attractiveness or something like that, but as physicality, people, for example, I do find with INTJ females, they have a certain jawline to them, not maybe the actual shape, but the way they hold their mouths are similar. And the way Lindsay holds her mouth is it's almost exactly like a lot of the INTJ women I know. And it's not a bad thing. It's just something that I've noticed. It's interesting. I actually really like it. It's a weird thing that I notice about INTJ females. And I think it's kind of weird that I'm talking about this. It's really random. But yeah.
Actually, that's interesting because I think, I could be totally wrong about this, but just from what I've seen, when people visual type people, they tend to see more of the tertiary than the dom. So it's I've been every time someone goes to visual type me, they always visual type me as an FE dom. So, and then I think just in general, tertiary can come out quite strong. So it's very easy to mistype as So if you're like SE tertiary, it'd be very easy to mistype as an SE dom, I think.
Interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think when people, I don't know about visual typing, but for me, I don't know what people, if you guys have anything that you visually typed me as, let me know. But yeah, I have seen similarities. It's very, very interesting, and I don't like think that's the only thing you should use alone, nor do I think it's like the most accurate way of typing someone. But it is very fascinating, if at the very least. So maybe we should look at the chat again.
Yeah, someone's just put the tertiary I find is usually the most self-conscious of the front stack functions. Wait, yeah, so that's probably a good point, because when I think, I don't know if you get this with your TI, but with my FE, I'm kind of like, whenever I use FE, I'm like, oh, I've just used FE. Like, I'm like really aware of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, something that's a visual feature like of like ENFPs, which by the way, Lindsay, I mean, I'm not going to say this person's name on, because I've actually kind of talked about, I mean, not in a bad way, but like they've been used as an example. And I don't think they would want to be named. Actually, a lot of the INTJs I know, well, I have two best friends that are INTJ females, and neither of them are really like super keen on being on camera, even though my friend Danielle definitely has been on camera. She's on my channel in places. But the person I'm talking about, I will send you the name of her Instagram so you can look at her. Just take a look. Or I could just like post it on my Instagram story just for everybody to be so creepy, and then like that girl's gonna think that I'm like her stalker or something. But no, I'll just send you a link. But with, oh, go ahead.
I come on the stream and then you just start spilling all the tea. This is
yeah. I mean, I didn't think this was gonna be a spill the tea live stream.
I have that effect on people.
What was that?
I have that effect on people.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, ENTPs definitely do like to stir the pot.
Yeah, I do it quite often in when I'm watching your live streams, I do it quite often in the chat, just like you probably are stalking this poor INTJ girl.
I check up on her every once in a while. Just because I do like her Instagram, but I'm not gonna follow her.
I think while we're talking about appearances, I think typing someone by like their fashion sense is just such I don't what's the word for this, like such a stupid thing to do. Like, because I think fashion sense is more influenced by money than anything. Because, if someone doesn't have the money to buy, like, people generally buy clothes that they can afford, from what I've seen.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that to a certain extent too. Like, I do think like there are certain types, for example, doesn't matter if someone had a lot of money or if they were, on the lower end. I do find with ENFPs or like, certain personality types, but especially ENFPs, they do really find a way to make their style different. Even if they're wearing the same clothes as everybody else, they're going to find a way to make it different. So that kind of is a thing, but I definitely agree. Like, there's a lot more to, I guess, obviously your fashion. Anybody could wear the same clothes. Some people it looks better on them, stuff like that. But that's more even your parents or society that's influencing that.
Yeah, I think culture is a big factor in that as well. But someone's just asked where I'm from. Yeah, I'm from the northeast of England, so that's why I sound northern.
Yeah.
Just Yorkshire's close, just a bit further up from that. I'm not like full Yorkshire.
Yeah. Wow. This chat is very. What was that?
It's interesting what you mentioned about ENFP clothes, though, because I find a lot of the stereotypes is that ENTP, like ENFPs wear like like rainbow clothes. But it's funny because I've got a friend who's she's an SFJ. I don't know whether she's an ISFJ or an ESFJ, but she's definitely an SFJ. But yeah, she's like, if you were just going to type her by a fashion sense, you'd probably type her as an ENFP.
Interesting. Do you think that? Yeah, that's very interesting. I don't know. And I wouldn't even say that ENFPs necessarily wear like rainbow stuff, but they definitely have their own sense of fashion for sure. That's a bit different. And they're going to wear, like, I mean, I do find with ENFPs, they wear stuff that I wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable wearing. Like my friend Anna, she's definitely not like wearing rainbow stuff, but which, by the way, Anna, if you're watching this, I don't know if Anna is, but looking at you, girl. I'm just kidding. But she wears like very sometimes risque outfits, but not in really an SE way, but in a way that's like almost introverted feeling in a way, because it's like they're risque and like they can definitely, like when we're out, like we went out in Nashville and she was wearing stuff that like where she wore like crop tops and she has like a nice body and stuff, so guys were like, looking at her and like they were telling her to pull down her shirt and show her boobs and stuff.
I'm not joking. If
what was that?
If after our transition people come up to me and say that, I will probably do it.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah.
Well, I get that. I mean, if I had anything to show, I'm just kidding.
a lot of my fashion sense, so it's not like, it's like stuff like this usually, like, but then I like wearing like, like merch type stuff. So like, I've got like a Slytherin hoodie, I've got a Slytherin t-shirt.
Oh, Love Lou is joining us.
Yes.
By the way, I actually did tell Luann about the story we were talking about earlier. So Luann, I kind of told them the facts that I'm not a certain person. I'm not going to be interviewing because they declined the interview. But I'm gonna be nice. Because she said that it's probably not, it's not personal, but I guess whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, go back on to what you were saying, Tiger.
Right, I'm not being funny, but like, this is my shitty SI, but I forgot what I was talking about.
I think we were definitely talking about
fashion, wasn't it? Like, so basically, like I was saying, I've noticed other NTPs doing this, but like a lot of what I wear is like merch. Like, so if I like a particular like shirt or something, like, and I don't think that's a type thing, but I've noticed a lot of NTPs do that.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I've seen as well. I don't know if it is, and I would even say NTPs more so than NTJs, but maybe not. But I do find with the NTPs, they definitely, if they are interested in something, they will show it. Kind of, it's weird. Like, I think, so ENFPs definitely have like their sense of style that's unique. But I also see that with like INTPs, they have like this certain flair about them. But I do find that, and this isn't me like bashing on INTPs, but I do find that INTPs kind of miss the mark in the fashion department, where ENFP is able to kind of I mean, not always. This is a very big generalization, so please do not come at me, INTPs. Again, you guys are awesome, but I do find with INTPs they're a little bit off, and also INFPs do that as well. I think ENFPs are a lot better at dressing themselves, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's just me. Or, I may have certain tastes I like.
I don't think I've got good fashion sense, I'll point that out. It'd be so much easier if everyone had their type in their username.
Yeah. Oh, in the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I do know a lot of these people's types, by the way. And by the way, for Joshua, I know that was generalizing. I'm not trying to generalize. It's an observation. Again, I'm never going to say that I'm 100% correct about anything, so.
Well, oh yeah, Luann's put, lol, just say INTPs often need help with fashion. True. See, but that's the thing. I've got one of my friends is an ISFJ, and she'll literally help, like, at some point she has helped me so much with fashion because I just do not have a clue.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm probably better at it than INTPs, but I'm not great because I think 8th slot SE might play a part in having terrible, terrible fashion sense.
A type that I've noticed personally that, I mean, it might just be because I mean, we're very similar. And maybe this is just like this is definitely a bias. And again, generalization, I'm just gonna make that, alert. This is not me saying that these people are always fashionable. Definitely not. I've definitely seen people that are not fashionable with this type. But when they are, I really admire like INTJ. Going back again, I feel like I'm just like sucking up to Lindsay right now. But I find INTJ females to have, when they like hone in on that and that's something they value, I find they have a really good sense of style. And it's definitely more, like they definitely tend to gravitate towards blacks and darker colors. Again, generalization. Not saying they can't wear colors or something like that, but I do find they have like a more of a classic style generally, which is I personally like, but it's a personal preference thing. So
yeah, I've noticed I tend to go for like black and red. Like, I don't know if that's a INTJs can have an insanely clean sense of fashion.
Yeah,
clean is a good word for it. But yeah, I think like especially while browsing the personality forums, shout out to Personality Cafe right here. But some people's typing methods are very questionable.
Wait, what was that?
And I was just saying, shout out to Personality Cafe. Some people's typing methods are very questionable. Like, and I think
that is another questionable way of typing yourself. I mean, I think this needs to be said. I would say one of the worst places besides like 16 personalities, and again, I'm not trying to dog, well, I guess I am. I'm just like throwing shade everywhere, I guess. This is gonna be a drama, this is gonna be an MBTI drama channel.
Yeah, I'm actually tempted to do that.
That actually would be so funny. And in some ways, Eric, from talking with famous people is a little bit like that. But I think that would be funny if one of us just like basically followed everybody's videos and was like looking for them to mess up.
No, it would work because I have so much drama in person that I'd just be able to cause so much drama.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Because that's the thing in your ENTP video that you posted yesterday when you were talking about like stirring the pot, and that was like, yeah, that's literally me every day.
Yeah. No, I definitely think so. No, it would be funny. But yeah, I guess just show it throwing
More
shade
shade
and
at Personality Cafe. Do it. Like, I think.
well, okay, but yeah, basically the point is one of the worst places to figure out your type is to go on a random forum, Facebook, or just like
We've all
general
done it.
person. What?
We've all done it at some point.
Yes. I mean, I think when you first get into typology, it's very easy to just like type online, whatever type, or just in general, Myers-Briggs, go on a forum and then look. You're going to see people talking about different YouTubers, different celebrities, even like themselves, and like trying to type these people. You know, I guess we all kind of have to go on this little journey we call the typology train or whatever. I don't even know what I want to call it. What is that? But it's definitely not the best way to get information, for sure.
Someone's put, can you act like an ESTJ for a bit? And to that, I just want to say I would, but I don't have a rule book with me, so.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, here's another thing I wanted to point it out. Not all SI DOMs are rule followers. I think the Socionics website is quite good. Wait, which Socionics website are you on about though? Because, you know, I don't know if you've heard of it, but have you heard of a website called 16 Types or whatever it's called? It's a Socionics website. Some people on there are just like, what's the nicest word to describe that? Just insane.
That's okay. So I guess the scary thing about Socionics that is, you know, if you ever get into it, any of the people that are watching right now, you want to be very wary because when you get into type relations, there's going to be those people. For example, I'm going to use someone's example. Okay. For example, we'll use Michelle. Michelle's an ENFP. She's an ENFP in Socionics. What was that?
Shout out to Michelle.
Yeah, shout out to Michelle. And by the way, you should definitely subscribe to Queen Tiger's channel and also Michelle's channel. And if you haven't watched the podcast, or not watch, but listen, you definitely should.
Yeah, I also think you should subscribe to me.
Yes. Yes, Queen Tiger, subscribe. I mean, well, not you, but you guys subscribe to Queen Tiger.
Yeah. Subscribe to Lovely as well.
Yes. Yeah, Lovely is great. Well, also LJ. I mean, there's some. If you go on to Siham's channel, So Many Mondays, go on that one. Let's see. Yeah, but anyways, going back to, I don't even know what I was saying. Oh well, go ahead. Your turn.
But yeah, about forums, I think, speaking of 16 types, there was this person I think I've probably talked about this before, but I'm not going to name names, but this person was so adamant that I was an ESFJ. Like, just based on visual typing, she was like 100% convinced that I was an ESFJ. And like, I don't think she was reading any of my actual messages or anything.
That's so weird.
So yeah, so I mean, if anyone thinks I'm an ESFJ, then fight me.
Which I don't think most ESFJs would say that.
No.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. So, okay, using Michelle as an example. As an ENFP, if you go on a Socionics website, you're gonna learn about, like, well, if you get into type relations, you're gonna learn about like duals, you know, the activity relationship, the look-alike relationship, the mirror relationship, all of those relationships. And let's say an ISTP in Socionics, which is, again, people don't like to do this crossover, but in Myers-Briggs, that would be an ISTJ. So an ISTP in Socionics, an ISTJ in Myers-Briggs. Now, those the ISTP in Socionics and the ENFP in Socionics and Myers-Briggs would be like, they would be considered the duals for one another, which is the perfect match. And you're gonna find that there's some weird people out there that are very obsessed with finding their dual. And they will go at great lengths to try to meet their dual. And it's very interesting. And obviously you don't want to be like that. And don't just like cast people aside just because you're going to find also in Socionics that they don't really have favorable relationships for the other relations a lot of times, but that's kind of a one-sided way of looking at it. I would say Myers-Briggs is a lot more optimistic. It's also a lot more surface level, whereas Socionics, it's like a lot more real and also a little gritty and not so favorable all the time. As far as like, it's really big on showing not only your strengths, but also your weaknesses in very specific ways. So, yeah.
Sounds good. So, but yeah, I think, I don't know if this is function related, but like, I think, you know, NE and SE can both be confrontational, but like, with me, I'm gonna, like, I would like hate like an actual physical fight. Like, that would just like I would be so shit in a physical fight. Like, I just like, so, you know, I definitely prefer verbal fights. Like, verbal fights are pretty fun. But yeah, when it gets physical, I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that SE DOMs, like ESFPs and ESTPs, especially men.
Yeah.
This isn't always the case, but I would say especially men do tend to be more, they are pretty, I guess, they can be aggressive and they're actually pretty good at like doing physical fights. I think any type can be, but SE DOMs tend to have like this natural like animal kind of magnetism to them. Yeah. And this also can come up in the like, I guess, anger and fighting situations. I know like, so I dated an ESFP and I mean, I'm still friends with him. I'm actually going to see him this weekend. We dated like when I was 20, so like 5 years ago. And we just get along really well. But he definitely has gone into quite a few fights in his day. And it's not him necessarily aggressing it, but like he, at a bar or like at a party, if someone like comes at him, he's not gonna like back down. So, and I do find that with ESTP guys as well.
See, it's funny actually because I've got a friend, pretty sure she's an ESFP, and every time, and she's like, I was like, if someone did something to one of my friends, I would just bat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely don't like physical confrontation at all. Like,
yeah.
I should probably learn self-defense really, but you know, I'm too lazy. No one can beat an ESTP ENTJ hybrid hype beast in a fight.
Oh my gosh. I love that. Which, by the way, hopefully this is okay to say, but Cat on a Keyboard actually sent me a rap or like a hype beast song for a meal that they made up, which is cool. Yeah. Also, to answer that question, I don't know if we answered this. I personally do not think you can be a hybrid of a type. Emil may think that he's an ESTP, ENTJ hybrid, but personally, I do not think, and I will squash this right now. I personally don't think that you can be a hybrid, but I'd
agree with that, because I think, you know, I think seeing, like, kind of as hybrids, they don't exist, because I think the wiggle room in types is there with Enneagram, subtypes, all of that shit. So I think people who say they're a hybrid, they just can't. It's just when they're struggling to settle on one type.
Yeah. Which is, understandable. I know there's people that are watching right now that, struggle between, or like, and even yourself, like, I think it also has to do with the fact that you're so young, which you're still 17, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like a little baby.
I turned 18 in September.
Oh my gosh, what a babu.
I know.
So little.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, Michelle, I am crushing dreams and telling them they don't exist.
Oh my god.
That's not what I do best.
I feel like Michelle would be an interesting addition to this talk.
That would be fun.
Yeah, Michelle, do you want to hop on? I don't know. This is kind of like last minute, but I can send you the link and you can hop on.
Oh yeah. So about Lovely, I think she is definitely an ESTP. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that C.S. Joseph typed her as an ENFJ though.
Well, that individual also typed Oprah as an ESFJ, so I don't really find that individual to be very accurate with their typing.
That individual.
The thing that people don't know about INFJs is INFJs can be little petty bitches, and certain people are going to see a petty bitch side of it. I mean, I'm not going to actually go directly, but I can be a petty bitch.
If Michelle joins, then we will have any overload in this chat.
That's true. But yes, I do also believe that Love Luann is an ESTP. Personally, I guess I'm typing you right now. I do believe you're an ESTP. I have no doubt about that.
This fits my theory about the tertiary coming off stronger than.
But
you watched the TED talk about MBTI. After you seen the TED talk about MBTI, I wanted to kill myself throughout.
Wait, what?
Oh, have you seen the TED talk about MBTI?
I don't think I have.
Oh no, it's pure cringe.
Really?
Because obviously she's trying to make it, sort of appeal to everyone. So she's like talking about the letters. Made me want to cry.
Oh wow.
Well, actually, I'm joking. I don't. We all know FI polars don't cry.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I will do in the future I'm going to do little sketches, like little comedy sketches. And instead of saying someone's name, I'll just call them that individual, and you'll know who I am.
Oh, I name drop. I want to stir shit up. If I'm mentioning people, I will name drop because I just want to. That's the thing. Like my initial 2 videos on C.S. Joseph, I was really disappointed that he didn't respond. Because that's the thing. Like if I make a video like that on someone, I want them to respond just to cause an argument with them.
Yeah. Wait. Love Blue, or what do you mean by voting? Did you have a voting?
She has a poll on her. on her channel.
Oh, on her channel, yeah.
ESTP. And
I haven't voted.
I have.
All right, you know what? We're gonna be multifaceted and that actually does not make sense. I'm gonna multitask in this, and I'm gonna go right on her channel and do a little vote-roo. But
oh yeah, we should get a bunch of NEDOMs together and see what happens. But please not too many ENFPs. I can't deal with the emotion.
Oh my gosh.
No, that's the thing, like, I'll be arguing with, like, an INFP or something, and they'll just start, like, crying and getting emotional in the middle of the argument. I'm just there, like, what's there to get emotional about? Because, to me, you know, arguments aren't, I think you can confirm this if you want, but to people with F higher in the stack, like, they are, like, arguments are seen as more serious, but, like, for me, it's just, like, you know, a way of having a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, as we can all see right now, even though at the end of the day, I'm not, oh, someone disliked. Oh, well, I guess. I do feel like this live stream is going to get a few dislikes, more than usual, maybe, just because of, or especially the salty conversation.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm used to dislikes, though.
Yeah, me too.
See, that's the thing. I like getting dislikes. I like getting dislikes.
Yeah, I just get so many dislikes. Just kidding.
I love when I make a post on Reddit that's intended to annoy everyone, and then they are downvoted, and I'm like,
oh my gosh. But yes, I went on Love Lou's channel and I voted ESTP. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Michelle
offended. Well, my facts don't care about your feelings. Yeah, that algorithm treats dislikes the same as likes, so it's still adding to your engagement.
That's true. I mean, really, and also, like, if you go on someone's, well, okay, so this is happening live, so that's fine. I actually am, go ahead, people. Go ahead, little person who's doing that. Or maybe they're a big person, I don't know.
See, people will dislike just because I'm a shit stirrer.
I just don't like it when it's on interviews, just because, but when it's on my videos, whatever. But yeah, no. I guess what's annoying is, well, actually it isn't annoying, it's actually kind of better in some ways, is if you go on just a video just to dislike it, like, there's people that just go on videos just to dislike. Yeah. And if the channel's monetized, you're actually just being like, here's $1. I'm just kidding.
I mean, I'm not monetized because I don't have enough subscribers, so make sure you change that, everyone, but
Yeah, everybody go subscribe to Queen Tiger.
I'm not desperate, but I want money.
Well, just to be clear, I do not make much. It's definitely nothing. I mean, it is something, but it's not, like, I don't know what other people make or whatever, but yeah, I could probably go to the grocery store and buy some groceries, and that's about it.
Personally, I do like getting dislikes. I like having it where the likes and the dislikes are like a similar amount, because that shows a split opinion, and that's a good thing in my eye.
Yeah. That's interesting. LJ just said that she got a lot of dislikes on her censor trash video. I also got more than I usually do on my censors are stupid video.
But, like, I don't see why you got dislikes on that, because because you were saying, I mean, unless people are, like, in my opinion, the people that, like, clicked on that and disliked it were probably people that were probably people that actually do think censors are stupid.
Well, and that's exactly what LJ is saying, because she said that censor trash, it was basically the same thing. And I actually didn't even know she made that video. before I made mine, because I've been wanting to make the censors are stupid video for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, they aren't. And people that have like that elitist attitude that, or for whatever type, either censors or intuitives, that's just like so dumb. I think that's stupid. If you want to think about trash human beings or stupid, that's again. I just feel like said all the mean stuff.
I mean, if you do,
and by the way,
like I said, if you ever want to stir shit, find like an INTP 5 and just tell them they're stupid.
Oh my gosh. No, I mean, my dad's an INTP. And I mean, he's a very intelligent guy, but yeah, if I was to say that to him, well, first of all, he's my dad, so that would be really disrespectful, but that wouldn't be a good situation. Anyways.
Well, my dad's an ISFJ. He's either an ISFJ or a really passive ISTJ. Because part of me, because it's like, I definitely see him as an SI dom, like that's, but then it's like, because I thought he was an ISFJ, but then there's some things he does that really aren't very FE, like, if you like, because like where he works, he like makes signs, but he like just does DIY shit anyway. So if you like ask him to make something, he'll make what he thinks is going to be best rather than what you've actually asked for. And I don't know if that's either an ISTJ thing or it could be that tertiary TI.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to say, but that's definitely an interesting observation.
But yeah, my dad is a really chill person though.
I feel like ISTJs can still be very chill. Like again, some people disagree, but I do think my sister is an ISTJ. I personally really like ISTJs. Now, do I always, again, it's maybe not maybe the easiest relationship, especially in Socionics. It's a super ego relationship for me. Again, they would be an ISTP and Socionics and ISTJ and Myers-Briggs. But yeah, I also, just to shout this individual, not that individual, but an actual someone that I do want to promote on this channel is Curtis 1996. Yes. I love him.
Shout out to Katrina.
Yeah, Katrina and Emil. We need to make that happen. Katrina and Emil need to get together.
I was thinking of going lesbian for Katrina.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Katrina. Yeah, she has everything going for her, and but yeah, Curtis is awesome. I really think he's I personally think that he's an ISTJ, but he very well, maybe he's mistyped. Who knows? But I do find he's a very good example of just someone that really is kind of stamping out the stereotypes by just being himself and just being like a human being. Because guess what?
I like how he just doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. People are not just like these one-sided individuals. Even intuitives can be very shallow. I've met some INFPs. I know one person in particular. Nobody knows this person. This is someone that and she's not a bad person, and I actually am friends with her and stuff like that, but I find that she's done some very shallow things in her life. I've done some shallow things. Everybody's done shallow things.
Everyone. That's the thing.
Exactly.
But I just want to clear 2 things up for the people in the chat. Yes, I'm an ENTP, and it's she. Just ENTJ yoga teacher seems reasonable. Yoga. That seems.
Yeah.
People are not jigsaw pieces. Well, it depends on how you look at them, really. I think, depending on what you want, people can be, but that's probably just yourself don't know. I'm just really confused at this chat right now.
What was that?
I'm just really confused at this chat right now, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Actually, I mean, really, this chat is popping. Like, there's a lot of people saying a lot of stuff. It's not like, I mean, typically in chats, there's some, you know, there's definitely paragraphs at some points, but
yeah, it's usually me just rallying everyone up.
Yeah.
Curtis is definitely an ISTJ. Yeah, didn't Curtis think he was an ESTP at one point, and then he went back to ISTJ.
I think that was because Ick from Talking with famous people and Taylor, I'm pretty sure both of them typed him as ESTP, if I'm not mistaken. But
oh my god, someone's asked if we have a Discord, I think. So do we have a Discord? I think a pucokie Discord would actually be.
Oh, Jack's on here. Jack from World Socionics Society.
Right. So, because I don't want to derail this, I'm just gonna say about my type. Go on my channel. You know, it's all on that. If you want to talk about my type, I'd rather do it on my channel rather than go on other people's channels and do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, okay, so Andrew Rice just said, I know a very deep ISTJ. Again, could be wrong, but I do think my sister's an ISTJ. And she's a very deep person as well. But in a different way. It's definitely in a different way. At first, I thought she was an intuitive for the longest time, but she's not. Whatever she is, she's definitely not an intuitive, and that's not a bad thing, or like saying, oh, she doesn't think deeply or something. It's just in a different way. She has very deep emotions and thoughts.
See, that's interesting actually, because I've had some like one of my best friends is an ISTJ. I've had very interesting conversations with him. We talk about conspiracy theories a lot.
Really?
Yeah, and I think because I was tempted to do a video with him, like asking people to type him, but I just knew that that a lot of people would type him as an INTP because they're obviously, you know, all the biases about SI in particular.
Yeah. Yeah, looks like Jack's trying to hit up Michelle, even though both of them, I mean, not in that way. They're just trying to talk. Because both of them are in relationships.
Oh my god, imagine if two people got married from a live chat.
Imagine if I end up getting married to CS Joseph.
Oh my god. No. CS Joseph is already in a relationship with his whiteboard.
What was it?
No, CS Joseph's already in a relationship with his whiteboard, so.
Oh, with his whiteboards. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know any personal information about him, so.
You know, I just think he's a bit too close with his whiteboards, and maybe he can calm down. No, but that was actually I don't know if you've seen the video that Love Lou did with him, but I'm pretty sure it was on that one. He said he doesn't actually like the whiteboards. He just does it for the TEP users who watches videos. So
yeah, I don't know too much about that. I don't fuck with that at all. You know, Emil may fuck with it a little bit. I don't fuck with it at all. And I think Emil was right about his observation that they're overcompensating for something. But I'm like becoming an enemy of his channel.
No, like, think about it, right? Like, if you ever want to, you know, say some shit, you know, just if you ever want to say some shit, just do a stream with me, and then you know.
Okay, so my heart just said, do you think that you're secretly attracted to C.S. Joseph? I think C.S. Joseph is afraid of me, and I also heard he has a really weird thing for INFJ. So let's see who's actually attracted here. I'm just kidding. No.
Let's type C.S. Joseph's whiteboard.
Type his whiteboard.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's an INFJ.
What if we? Oh my gosh. What if we just like retitle this? The same thing, but then bashing the individual.
Wait, Michelle, who doesn't think C.S. Joseph's hot? Let's be honest.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, did you see? I left a comment on one of his videos saying that his whiteboard's made me wet.
Hey, I will say, and for the record, let me just say this. Let me direct my attention to Chase, since you couldn't message me in my DMs on Instagram.
Cheers.
I'm looking at you, bud. I'm just kidding. No, I think he's cute, actually, but not the way that he was acting. And if you're afraid of me, I understand. I'm a pretty scary person, but
yeah, you're pretty intimidating. yeah, that is true. Eric is the hottest typology YouTuber.
Yeah.
Host Eric could pull me over any day. Oh yeah, he actually did pull me over.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, because I told him to, but yeah.
You're like, arrest me, sir.
Yeah, like,
come arrest the officer.
Yeah, and then he said he didn't know, so he'd let me go.
Oh. No, that's funny.
Wow, someone's put that C.S. Joseph, no, that host Eric is taken, and I just want to say that doesn't stop me.
Oh my gosh! What a little skank! I'm just kidding.
I know. That's what everyone said. Must be an ESFP or something.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
This video got teenage girl gossipy pretty quick. Well, that's what I'm here for.
Wait, what was that?
Yeah, someone said this video got teenage girl gossipy pretty quick.
Well, I mean, she is a teenage girl. I am, I'm secretly a teenage girl. Yeah, I'm actually 15.
Yeah.
Shaved off 10 years of my life.
Imagine if you could just do that though, just click your fingers and you're 10 years younger.
Yeah, I mean, well, when I don't wear mascara or any makeup, people do think I'm 14, so. Because I have such a womanly figure that they mistake me as a child.
That would be an interesting superpower to have, actually, but then you have limited use of how many times you can go back 10 years.
Yeah.
C.S. Joseph plus Emily equals George Washington.
Wait, what? Where is that? Oh my gosh.
Well,
wait, what does that mean? What do you mean by that, Andrew, actually?
What type do you think George Washington was?
I've seen different things, but are you saying a child with a potty mouth? Oh, that's my cart. That said that. All right, I need people to convince me not to.
By 6. Well, smoking's dangerous. It actually is, though. So.
Yeah. I've actually never tried a cigarette before.
Interesting.
Yeah. Never tried a cigarette. Never tried any illegal or legal drugs and certain things. Yeah, Andrew Rice, what do you mean by that? I really want an explanation for that. Oh, there you are. I'm not sure what INTJs look like when I see them.
Well, I'm going to have a really SI moment and just put on some hand sanitizer.
Yeah, I could go over to the sink, which by the way, guys, I'm in my bathroom. You know, on this channel, as you know, on Pucokie, I'm the most professional host.
Yeah.
You know, very professional, never do anything that's like professional. Now, this is my bathroom.
Host Emily of Talking with Famous People.
What?
No, like, you should join Talking with Famous People so you can be host Emily.
I could. Actually, I mean, I just think that our schedules are a little off because he is like, what, 3 or 4 hours behind? I think he's 3 hours behind, time-wise. But like, yeah, no, I would love to go on his channel again. We've talked about, you know, me going on there and stuff, so.
Someone's put, how old is Pucokie, by the way? Well, we all know she's 15, like she said.
I'm, 54. I'm just kidding.
We can tell.
Yeah, but
well,
I don't.
People say like some people say I look older than I am, and then some people say I look like 12. So.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
I think 17 is at an age where you can look. I mean, you can definitely look your age, but you can also look older. Like for me, I will eventually show photos of me from like high school or whatever, which basically, spoiler alert, I basically look the same except for I had thinner eyebrows and my hair was longer. But yeah, people would sometimes think I was older, even though I look the same as I do now. And then again, without makeup, I also look different. I just want to say this really quickly. This is really random. It's not in any way relevant. But as you may see, hair, I take off all my labels from my shampoo and things like that. I don't have labels on my stuff.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to close this up. This has been shower time with Emily, or Pucokie.
Yeah, I mean, if you title a video that, you'll get lots of views.
Yeah, yeah, I should do like shower time.
Yeah, when I get desperate, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, anyways, I think we should probably wrap it all up soon. Yeah. Just because.
Yeah, so I think one more thing I wanted to point out is that people seem to associate being a germaphobe with SI, but no. Just, I don't think being a germaphobe is related to type.
No.
I suppose Emily does not like the word sham. What's wrong with the word sham?
Is that ShamWow?
What does sham mean?
Anyways, do you have any final remarks that you want to make?
I think I've said everything. Yeah, I think I've said everything that I need to say. But you know, I could talk all day about this, but
yeah, I mean, we definitely could talk all day and night about it. But I am trying to also, just so it's a little bit easier for people to sit through and watch. We're at 78 minutes, so we're a bit over the 1 hour mark, but that's okay. Again, even though a certain individual's name was dropped even though I said I wasn't gonna say that person. Don't go don't go over to their channel and say, you know, hateful things or whatever.
Yeah, you should come over to my channel and say hateful things.
I really, you know, at the end of the day, I wanted to have that individual on because I've gotten a lot of requests lately. But at the end of the day, you know, one person out of all the other people, you know, if he's the only person that rejects an interview out of all of the people on the...
That's his loss.
Yeah, it is his loss.
Yeah,
you know.
You should get lovely one if you like that actually.
Well, so she wants to meet up in person. So I definitely want to eventually do that. But yeah. So there's going to be some really awesome people that are going to be coming on soon. LJ is coming on Saturday. We're going to have Jake Maxwell tomorrow. We're going to have, who else? We're going to have Ren on again from Ren's Room. And we're also going to have Eric Thor eventually as well. And then there's a few other people. And again, if you ever want to be interviewed, submit your name. Or you could, you know, act like you're okay with being interviewed, and then I can try to, you know, ask you if you want to be interviewed, and then you don't respond. And then I ask you again, and you say, I decline.
Yeah, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, not everyone's initiating according to CS Joseph. That's another thing actually. Before we end this, basically, I don't think all extroverts are initiators, and all introverts like are not going to be initiators. I don't think that's a thing. So
yeah, I don't think so either. I think you shouldn't, you know, typology should not be used as a box.
Yeah.
What we found, I guess, just to wrap up this video.
It's very personal as well. It's a very personal thing. So, you know, like. Yeah.
We definitely took a turn in different directions. Different directions. Yeah. You know, there was some tea that was spilled a few times. We got burnt. Some people got burned. You know, some people got...
One person in particular.
Some sugar. Yeah, an individual. One individual in particular.
The individual.
Individual number one. Suspect number one.
Oh, that'd be some good drama for your channel.
Yeah, well, so guys, I'm gonna like rebrand my whole channel, and people are gonna be like, where did Gloomy Emily go? Because that's what a lot of people that are new to my channel like to say.
Emily, you can be the next Keemstar.
I was just thinking that. I'll be like, oh my gosh, look at this. Just get on everybody's channel and just like, you know, just stir the pot with everybody. Just
make up random stories when you don't have one.
Make up random stories. Or I'll just like very much creep on their past selves, even look at their old, you know, Twitter feeds and
spread rumors about Katrina.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, when it comes to mistyping, you know, it's very common for people to mistype. Both Tiger and I have mistyped. Again, I typed as INFJ originally, and you've typed as basically almost every type. So it maybe have to do with like age. Also, I think it has to do with a lot of other things as well. And, you know, there's definitely resources that are not created equally. And even if there are resources that are not created equally, and there might be some that are more favorable than others, you definitely want to research as much as you can. And look at different resources. Don't just look at one source. Just because I say something, or just because Tiger says something, or just because the cat down the road says something, doesn't mean that that is what reality is. And at the end of the day, you know, people like us could try to help Like, I do feel like I have I do know that I have a pretty good grasp on the cognitive functions, but I never like to say, oh, I know 100% someone's type.
Yeah.
Even my own, I'm not that way.
I think with me, if I type someone, I always remind them that I can't, like, tell them, like, 100% what their type is. Like, I always make sure to remind them that, so then if they take that as fact, then that's just not on me.
Yeah.
This video is mostly tea.
I mean, I should probably retitle this and say plus T. Plus some typology tea.
All tea, all shade.
Yeah, there's a lot of shade and there's a lot of tea. All right, so it's been great. I don't think I have linked your channel. I don't think I did link it in the description yet. But I'm going to link Queen Tiger's channel in the description. And this is kind of a random thing that I don't know if people have caught on to this. I actually hide my subscriptions on my channel, so I hide who I'm subscribed to. But I do have an area on my channel that has well, I call it more perspectives. And that doesn't mean that I'm not subscribed to other channels. That just means that those are the people that I either am working with, like on a project, or they have been on my channel. It doesn't mean that like, for example, LJ is not on there, but when we do our interview, she's going to be on there. And Love Lou's not on there, but when we meet up in person or do some type of collaboration, she'll be on there too. So just for people to know that, because I think some people think that I'm only subscribed to those channels, and that's not the case. So, but you are on that list.
I'm on there, yeah.
You're on that list, girl. So you can find her on that list as well. So, yeah. But we will be peacing out.
Yeah.
And
bye.
Drinking some coffee, drinking some tea. All right. Bye, guys.
See ya.